What's up everyone? This is Dale Hohen from Dating Savior and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And today I'm going to tell you something that is probably one of the most important lessons that I've learned in my 20s, and that is to separate yourself from the competitive mind frame and be more of the collaborative mind frame. In the olden times, we would have to fight for food and shelter, and because we would have to compete. Otherwise, if we don't compete for food and shelter in the olden times, we would die. But to be honest, competition actually makes us weaker because it does two things when we compete against other people. For number one is we start copying what the competition is doing, and secondly, we start to focus way too much on the competition and we don't really focus on ourselves. So I'll give you an example. For example, when you apply for a job and you're competing against a whole bunch of other candidates, and all you're thinking about is competing against other candidates, you're going to do a lot worse rather than actually focus on what you bring to the company. You're actually going to do a lot worse. And look at all the restaurants nowadays. I'm in the beautiful city of Vancouver where there's a ton of restaurants everywhere. One of the examples I want to give you is that if I would open a restaurant and I am focused with sponge cakes, and I'm very good and I've been dedicating to that art for many years, and down the street and there's a competition and they're very, very busy, but they make cheesecake. And then instead you decide that you're so hung up on your competition because they're getting so busy and you're not, that you start making cheesecakes. And what that is going to do is you're going to be so focused on making cheesecakes, you're not going to have time to dedicate to improve your own sponge cakes. So your sponge cake quality is going to go down and people aren't going to come to you for cheesecake anyways. They're going to go to your competition. So at the end of the day, you just lose more business. And that's same with sports. Sports, it holds true because there's two teams, one team competes with another. But if you look more in depth about a sports team, they have to focus on their team structure. They can't focus on so much on what the other people are doing. They have to focus on what they're doing in order to be a good team. Having competition because of fear is going to hold us back from meeting our greatest potential. Toxic relationships stem from unhealthy competition. I was with this girl once and she asked me to come to her house, building chairs and tables from IKEA. And I agreed to help her. And I went over there and I spent over 2 hours building all this stuff. And she decided that it wasn't good enough and that you have to redo all of it. And we got into a huge argument, and because of our competition and our egos of wanting to win all the time, I would always want to win, and she always want to win, and we create this huge competition of huge conflict of always wanting to win. We're so caught up in winning that we solved nothing in this relationship. She ended up trying to make me jealous, and then my beta condition kicked in, and she eventually cheated on me. So one of the biggest things I learned is to let go of that competition mind frame. It doesn't give you anything, and instead have more of a collaborative mind frame. Before we dive in deeper, let's talk about what a collaborative mind frame is. Collaborative mind frame is a win-win situation, and it is pretty much we all cross the line together. It doesn't matter who crosses the line first, as long as we all cross a line, we all win. Versus in competition is more, you're just one win and one loser. There's no win-win. So we are living in a strange times with the pandemic and all that, but during this time I have seen a lot of collaborators where a lot of communities came together to help small businesses that have struggled during this time, and I have seen a lot of volunteers going to pit stops and setting up, giving them free sandwiches and fruits and drinks for all their essential workers and all the transport, those semi-truck drivers. So going back to the cake example, instead of viewing them as a competitor, if you guys are just collaborate and you guys are just friends and you guys are just a big group of family, and what ends up happening is that you guys are just going to eventually you guys are gonna help each other out. You guys are gonna learn new ingredients, and you're gonna improve your own cakes, and you're going to improve your production time and customer service skills. And I promise you that's what is gonna happen. And it is very important to have that collaborative mind frame. During my early days, when I went to the nightclubs and any social venues, I would always go in having the mindset I had to compete with other guys to get the girls. Or when I talk to girls, when I interact with a girl, I feel like I had to compete with them. I felt like I had the me first you mentality, because I felt like I had to win. I knew they were gonna shit test me, and I knew I had to try to pass their shit test. So what ends up happening is that you're so caught up in trying to win all the time. And it's good because in the beginning it helped me, because it helped me go out there and meet people. But at the same time, it will only go so far. Your skill is going to cap out if you have that competitive mind frame. Instead, I learned eventually to have that collaborative thinking of just going into a venue and thinking everyone's a friend. Over time, I realized that I had to drop this competitive mind frame, and that I had to go in and accept that everyone is a friend, and that we're all big dorks together, and we're just over here and not to take anything seriously and just have fun. And that's one of the biggest things. And that is like life too. You have to go in there, you have to enjoy it. You have to go in and you have to have fun. And this is one of the biggest lessons I've learned through this collaborative way of thinking, is that we're all friends and we're all in it. And what ends up happening, the funny thing is that what ends up happening when you go in with that mentality, you care the least, you're loose, you're lean back, and you don't care. You just generally don't care. And then what ends up happening is that people are gonna enjoy coming out and hang out with you, because you're so relaxed, you're so chill. Versus if you're really serious, you're just no fun to be around. And so when you're chill and you're relaxed, you end up being the higher status naturally, because all the people start coming to you because you're the higher energy source. It's just like how when there's a rock concert, or when there's a music festival, or any events that are going on in the city, people are drawn to them because this is a higher energy. This is naturally, scientifically proven. So once you have that, you have that collaborative way of thinking, and you just go in, you just care the least, you just go in, you just have fun, loose, and all the girls are just gonna start coming to you. To conclude this whole video, you have to have the ability to just welcome everyone, just share the love with everyone, make sure everyone is just a friend. We have this collaborative way of thinking, and just stop trying to compete with all these negative attacks all the time. I have a few friends that can wheel a lot of girls home, but then they just don't have the palate to have joy. They bring in so many girls, but they don't know how to enjoy. It's not really about how many girls you take home. It is about how much joy, what the experience you have with this person. What did you guys do? What memories you guys have shared? Life is too short. We're on a ticking time. Time is ticking, and you have to enjoy every minute of it. Because soon we're gonna get old and we're gonna die, and that's not gonna be nice. So it is all about having that collaborative to reframe. We have to have that collaborative mind frame. We have to share love with everyone. Everyone's like one big family, and we're all in this together. And it doesn't matter who finishes first. As long as we all finish together, that's a victory. But this is all I have for you today. We're in the beautiful Castellano Beach in Vancouver, and this beautiful sunny day. I'm very happy to be sharing this destination with y'all. This is Hoen from Dating Savior reporting, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Peace.